Hello everyone, and welcome. I consider Dark Souls to be a great game. Like its predecessor Demon Souls, it successfully took influences from dark fantasy graphic novels and older role-playing books to create an amazing experience. But more recently, I've seen that works have taken influence from Dark Souls. In anticipation of the release of Dark Souls 2, I'm here to show them to you. Let's first step into the realm of video games. As controversial as it may be, I do consider Dark Souls to be a video game. To get an outside opinion, I even got a special expert here to back me up on this.
Yeah, so Dark Souls is a game.
So let's turn to an obscure video game. League of Legends, there's this guy called Thresh. Now, first you might think he's a reference to Nito, because he's a skeleton, but I just point out Karthus for that. And besides, Thresh is probably marginally less evil than your average skeleton. Case in point. Now you see, Thresh has a passive ability to take the souls of his enemies and gain power. Yes, you heard that right. Take their souls. Does that remind you of anything? We next turn to Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Now, while the mechanics of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance could easily be based on the mechanics of Dark Souls, I decided to find something a little more specific. In the game, there's an unlockable weapon called the Armor Breaker, whilst in Dark Souls, we have the Mail Breaker. And according to the description of the Mail Breaker, mail is a type of armor. I'd say that's a pretty obvious Dark Souls reference. Since we've spent so much time talking about video games, I think it's time we moved on to talking about anime. Don't worry, I will continue to take this seriously. In Episode 7 of Doki Doki Precure, the main characters enter the abandoned Throne Kingdom. Or should I say, Anor Londo. I'm guessing that still doesn't convince you. Why don't you take a look at this? Or maybe this? Or maybe this? Concerning other shows, here are just a handful of the references I've found. I've saved the best for last. This is a show called Witchcraft Works, and I know what you're thinking.
This guy's gonna say that witches are a reference to Dark Souls, even though they're a common element in fantasy?
Please, I'm not an idiot. I've already found much better evidence.
ふとしたきっかけで一人の女生徒と知り合ってね。その人はドラゴントゥースなんて呼ばれていたわ。かがりかざね。そう、彩香さんのお母さんよ。ママたちはとても仲良しになった。
Let's rewind that clip. Now, where have we seen that before? That's right, Havel the Rock, who, as we all know, used a dragon tooth. Could Kazane herself, in fact, be Havel the Rock? Your guess is as good as mine. Look at this. Pyromancy. But what is the missing link? Well, I did some research, and this is what I found. Dark Souls 2 is a confirmed sequel to Dark Souls 1.